Hi everybody, this is Justina with JustynaTHandMade. Today I'm gonna show you how to create this cute little zipper pouch. I'm calling this pattern Spiky monster pouch or pencil case. As you can see, obviously the little monster is spiky all around and has a spiky hair. This pattern comes with the printable pattern templates. You're gonna have templates for all the elements that you can see on the front of the pouch. The back of the pouch is just a plain panel. Also, in the description of this video, I'm gonna include a link to instructions how to convert the PDF into a SVG file if you prefer to use a cutting machine. This pattern is available in the Etsy store. When you purchase the pattern, you're gonna receive the intro notes to the pattern, supply list, a full cut list, and the printable pattern pieces. You're gonna refer to this video as the pattern instructions. There is no written instructions. You can always come back and watch the video to remind yourself how to put this little pouch together. As you can see, this is a great scrappy project. You can make any of the elements a different color of vinyl. Even you can make the main panels to different colors and it's gonna look great. Every monster is their unique creature, so you can just go crazy and make multiple of them, and none of them will be exactly the same. It's also a very quick project. The pouch itself is unlined as we are using vinyl, so I don't think lining is necessary. You also need just a small piece of number 3 zipper. This is just a generic ready-made zipper that I cut to size. The detailed supply list for the project will be provided in the Etsy listing, so you can refer to the listing to make sure you have all supplies needed to put this project together before you commit to purchasing the pattern itself. If you do make one of those little monsters, I would love for you to share your creation with me. To do that, you can join my Facebook group or tag me on Instagram. Links to both are in the description below. Also, if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for taking the time to view another video of mine. If you are new to the channel, please consider subscribing, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And now, if you like to see how this little cutie comes together, please keep watching. To start our project, I'm just gonna run real quick through all our pattern pieces. Like I said, all the pattern pieces gonna be provided as a printable templates, so you're gonna be able to cut them out based on the templates provided. I'm gonna include a link to a video to walk you through how to convert the PDF into a SVG file. I find that the SVG files are being outdated really quick if I just provide them to you. I think it's best if you just go ahead and convert them online. It's a free service, so you don't have to pay for it. Using the provided PDF, those SVG files are most up to date, and they seem to work best with all the software for the cutting machines. So that's my recommendation. The only thing to remember that the PDF includes single pieces, as you know, you will have to cut those two on the mirror per the instructions on the template. The same thing goes for those little arms. Alrighty, so just let's run real quickly through our pattern pieces. So obviously you're gonna have the main body of our spiky monster. You're gonna have this optional little heart to just make him cute, because although he's spiky, but he has a big heart. We're gonna have 2 arms that you're also gonna cut on mirror. We have our spikes for our spiky, the zipper overlay that also serves as the monster lips, a piece of zipper. This is zipper number 3, but you don't need to go and buy yards and yards of zipper number 3. You can just purchase a set of ready-made zippers. That's what I did. I actually cut a piece of a longer number 3 pre-made zipper. Then I just used a generic zipper pull to insert on my zipper tape. Then I have my little eyes, a little tooth, and I'm going to be using those dark gunmetal color rivets for my eyes. Also, I'm going to be using this double-sided tape. This is 1/8 of an inch double-sided tape, just to help me keep the elements on the main panel while I'm sewing them on. Also, this is something I use a lot when I sew with vinyl. This is just machine lubricant. I just put a little bit along the seam line. That helps just a regular machine foot to just slide over the vinyl. So if you're using something thicker, I would recommend for you to use something like that, but make sure that it's not going to damage your machine. I've been using this on my Juki HZL-70 for over a year now, and it seems to be fine. So if you have the same machine, I suspect it will be fine, but just make sure that that's not going to damage your machine. Also, for the little accent pieces for the arms, claws, and the belly button, I'm going to be using just a generic embroidery floss. So those are all our pattern pieces and all our supplies, obviously, plus thread. I'm just going to be using my usual JustynaTHandMade 70 thread. It's a polyester thread. I'm going to be changing the colors. I'm sewing on different elements of my monster. You can do the same, so you can try to match the color of the thread to the elements of the monster and the color of your vinyl. Or if you are a confident top stitcher, you can just use the same thread for all the elements. Now, to start our project, we're gonna start with attaching our spikes. So I'm gonna take a piece of double-sided tape. Place the tape along the curved edge. And I'm gonna attach the spikes, referring to the provided template. You don't have to be exact. I say every little monster has their own personality, so you can loosely refer to it, or you can even make your own composition. So don't be stressed out about placing all the elements exactly in the same place like it is provided in the template. The template is just example of the layout of the monster elements. You can change them. You can make the 2 big eyes, for example, or 2 small eyes. You can add more teeth. This is a starting base for you to personalize your own monster. Now that we have our spikes attached to our panel, to our main panel, we're gonna top stitch along the curved edge with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Make sure to back stitch or to pull the ends of the thread to the wrong side of the project and tie them up. Just remember that we want the spikes to be free on the top for our final seam. Don't sew along the triangle parts. Attaching them only at the base will be fine. Now that we have our spikes attached, we're gonna move on to place our eyes. So you're gonna take both eyes, and again we're gonna use some double-sided tape. Small piece for the smaller eye. make sure I have a center. I'm gonna place the bigger eye on the right and the smaller eye on the left. And when I'm happy with the placement, I'm gonna take it to the machine and I'm gonna top stitch around both eyes with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Just a note, go slow, the slowest speed of your machine that's possible. That's going to be way easier to go around those curves. Don't try to speed up the process. It's a relatively short seam, so it's worth to take the time. Now that my eyeballs are sewn in, I'm gonna attach my rivets for the eyes. You can use any rivet color really, whatever suits you or whatever you have on hand. Maybe even rainbow rivets would look great. Also, you can play with the placement of the rivets. You can have the monster looking left or right, or just have a little cross-eyed monster. It depends on what you're after. Also, the size of the rivet doesn't matter. Those are 8mm rivets. You can use any size and it's gonna look equally good. You could also replace them with buttons and or some other craft eyes. So now I'm gonna attach my rivets. Now that my eyes are completed, I'm gonna start work on my lips. So I'm gonna take my little lips slash zipper overlay piece and also use some double-sided tape. And now I'm gonna place my lips on my monster. You can do it straight, you can do it under an angle. I think it looks cute under an angle, so that's what I'm gonna do. So I just wanna make sure I have around equal space on the sides for my final seam. And now I'm just gonna stick it using my double-sided tape. When I have that prepped, I'm gonna take it back to the machine and I'm gonna sew only around the outside edge of the zipper overlay panel. Leave this inside edge unsewn. Just sew along the outside edge with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that the initial seam for our lips is done, now we have to cut out our zipper opening. Take your shears, fold the piece in half, making sure you are not cutting anything else, just the main panel. And now cut out an opening that is slightly bigger than the opening in the overlay. Don't worry if your opening is not perfect. It's gonna be camouflaged with our zipper tape, so that's nothing to be worried about. Now that we have our zipper opening prepped, we're gonna install our zipper. I like to put the zipper pull to the place where it's gonna be when the zipper is installed and closed. You want to make sure you have an equal overhang on the back. And we can also use double-sided tape to help us keep the zipper in the opening while we're sewing it on. Now we're gonna place our zipper inside the zipper opening. You wanna keep in mind the direction of the zipper if that's how you like it. I like it to be for the pull to be on the left when closed. Then just repeat what I'm doing. If you like the opposite way, just flop it around. It's easy, you can just turn it the other way around. Here we want to remember to insert our little tooth. You can do it as you sew, so you can complete the seam on the top and then just slide the tooth in while you're coming over to the bottom side of the zipper, or you just remember to lift the tooth up while you sewing the upper seam. Now that you have the zipper and the tooth attached to the main panel, you're gonna take it to the machine and you're gonna top stitch around the zipper opening with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that my zipper is attached, I'm gonna move on to attaching my little heart. So again, I'm gonna use the little piece of double-sided tape. Twist the heart a little bit and just test it with a little arm that it looks good. I think it's gonna look perfect. So now that I have my little heart placed, I'm gonna take it to the machine and I'm gonna top stitch it with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that my little heart is attached, I'm gonna now sew in the arms. Now that I have my arms placed, I'm gonna take it to the machine and I'm gonna top stitch the arms only along the curve edge with the 1/8 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. Now that my little arms are sewn in, I'm gonna add my clothes. So I'm gonna use the embroidery floss. I took about 1.5 feet and I'm just gonna freehand the close on the little monster. Also, if you like, you can add a little belly button. Since I have my thread already threaded, I'm just gonna add it. Now our little monster is completed. All we have to do is just add the other side of our pouch. So you're gonna take the other panel A and place both of them right sides together and clip all around. If the edges, the outside edges do not align perfectly, don't worry, we're gonna trim the final seam allowance. I'm gonna use my pinking shears to give it a spiky look. You can just trim it with the regular fabric shears if you don't have pinking shears. So now when you have the pouch prep like this, take it back to the machine and sew all around the outside edge with the 1/4 of an inch seam allowance and 3.5 stitch length. And now that our pouch is sewn all around, and also just remember, I forgot to mention it before we sew it around, that keep those little spikes out of the way of the seam, because then it's going to be impossible for us to trim the final seam. All right, so now we have our project sewn all around. Now we're gonna trim the seam allowance, and like I said, I'm gonna use pinking shears, and I'm just gonna go and trim the seam allowance all around. Now my little spiky is spiky all around. If you have a vinyl that has like a fuzzy backing, you can just take a lighter and just zap those little fuzzies all around. Mine is a marine vinyl, so it doesn't have the fuzzy backing. Now your project is completed. Your little monster pouch is ready to use. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and that you're gonna try to make one of those cute monsters. I'm looking forward to see how you decided to place all those applique elements. I think every monster could be different. This is just a base, so I'm anxious to see your versions. If you like these tutorials, please make sure to subscribe to my channel and to give the video a like. Also, please make sure to join my Facebook group and to follow me on Instagram. Till the next time.